Hello guy, welcome back to my channel Cheating Stories 911. Today will be a story that discusses a deception coming from a husband, a father, who has repeatedly betrayed his wife and children. How can make my dad's mistress life a living hell? 3 years ago, we found out that my dad was cheating with this bitch for years. We called her to scare her, and she was sorry, begged us to not tell anyone because she was engaged during all those years. We really didn't douche because we thought that God would avenge us, but nothing happened and I'm done being nice. Recently, I was with my dad in his car and suddenly her name pops up with one letter altered. He played it off as if it's someone from his work was calling and told me that he didn't want to annoy me. I told him that he's not annoying me at all and that he should answer the call. He instantly hung up and I played dumb. I know that the bitch who is originally from another state visited him in his workplace frequently, so I'm guessing that she's back to her old ways, and I even think that he gave her a job there. Now, no one at his job knows me and I have the administration's phone number. I want to humiliate her and I want her to suffer, and I really hope that her now husband will literally erase her from this planet. How can I get his number or hers? What should I say to the administration? Tell me a diabolical scheme, I'm all ears. P.S. The situation is messier than this. My father's turn is coming soon, but for now I only want her family, her friends, co-workers to know.
Comment 1. Your father is also accountable. As far as her husband, look him up on LinkedIn and Facebook. Try to use a different account in case she has you blocked. Comment 2. You should use your time and energy to help your mother divorce your father. What he's doing is abuse. Your mother also needs to get an STI test done ASAP. For AP's husband, search social media. Probably create new account for it. There are all sorts of ways to humiliate your father and AP, but first help your mother. Next comment. Totally agree with this. I've seen my mom being cheated by her husband, not my dad. I can tell you, your mom will need your support and love. Being cheated can destroy a person in every way. You can't see or feel clearly, and worst part can be the STI. That cheater got HPV from sleeping with multiple women prostitutes. Fortunately, my mom is clean from that one, but there's always a chance for it to show later. So yeah, being cheated on can destroy you in many ways. Also, your parents are not your responsibility, you are the kid. Support your mom, but suggest she goes to therapy. That also helped my mom. The first 3 months I was there for her, but it was taking my mental health away too. So we both went to therapy to navigate this. Comment 3. Why aren't you making your dad's life miserable? He's the one cheating on your mother. Why not both? At the very least her fiancé deserves to know. Edit, now husband I guess.
What a dilemma when the cheater is his biological father. In this case, I feel the op is losing his way. What he needs to focus on is the father, not the mistress. He tried to blame his mistress and tried to embarrass her in front of everyone, but forgot that the person who directly caused this suffering for him and his mother was the father. Even if the mistress is exposed, she will stop. But will his dad stop or continue dating another girl? We need to be aware of this. Solve the problem in the right place. Give him options. Or you will expose the whole truth to the family, to the mother. Of course, there won't be any forgiveness, because you forgave 3 years ago. Or he needs to take the initiative to stop cheating. How do you feel about my plan? Please leave your comments. Story 2. I caught my brother cheating and confronted him about it. He told me if I tell his wife he'll convince everyone I'm a liar. Hi. I'm a girl 18. I have 2 brothers. Brad, male 24, just broke up with Faye, female 22, after dating for 8 years. They dated throughout high school and college. James, male 33, is married to Vicky, female 35. They both took the breakup really bad even though it was technically mutual. I honestly don't think either one of them wanted to break up. I think they just had so many people telling them that they're so young and they haven't dated other people and they should go out and explore. What else is out there? Even though neither of them really wanted to. My brother James was one of those people. He kept telling my brother that it was crazy that he tied himself down for high school and college, and even though Faye is a great girl, he should date around a bit. Anyway, yesterday, I was babysitting for this family who go to the center I work at who live the next town over. We went for a walk and just happened to walk through town, where Faye's new apartment is. Her and my brother used to live together. She couldn't afford the rent there on her own, so she got a new place. It's right on Main Street, so it's not like we went out of our way or anything. So we're walking by and I see my oldest brother's truck there. It was definitely his, which is whatever. There are like a million reasons why he might be there. But then on my way home, about 1 a.m., I was at a takeout place across the street from the apartments eating with my friend, and my brother walks out with Faye. They talk outside his truck for a bit and it all seemed totally normal. But then she goes to walk away and he grabbed her arm and pulled her back towards him and kissed her. Then they both got into the truck and drove away. So I posted this morning about what to do, and a lot of people told me to tell him to tell her, so I went to him and I told him what I saw, and I told him that if he didn't tell his wife that I was going to. He didn't really react at all. He just rolled his eyes and said, not in his exact words, but that if I told his wife anything he would just convince everyone I was jealous of Faye and was lying to cause drama. I told him he was a jerk and I was going to tell her anyway, so he literally said fine. Pulled out his phone and FaceTimed his wife. When she picked up, he was like, "Carrie has something to tell you," and handed me the phone. I just froze up and didn't say anything because I wasn't prepared for it. His wife was just like, "What was that all about?" And my brother was like, "Oh, it's just her being dramatic again." Then he hung up and told me that I had no idea what I was talking about, and if I didn't mind my own business, he would make things worse for me. Now I'm really confused as to what I should do, because what if I tell her and she doesn't believe me, and now everyone thinks I made up a horrible story and hates me.
Wow, what a thrilling story. Is there any deception coming from the eldest brother? I would love to know what the readers think. Comment 1. I'd start with talking to Brad, since James was probably fucking his girlfriend before they broke up. Honestly, Brad deserves to know from you more than Vicky does. He's your brother. Even if this started after the breakup, his brother is sleeping with his ex, and that's beyond fucked. That betrayal plus threatening you says everything y'all need to know about James. Sibling solidarity with Brad is the way to start. There's likely a lot about Brad's relationship and breakup with Faye that you don't know, and this info could help him get some answers. Next time, grab proof. I bet if you go to that town some other time, you can photo his truck at her apartment. That would really help him not be able to lie to his wife. I caught my ex-fiancé cheating on me with a married man. When I confronted the dude about him telling his wife, he basically said the same thing your brother did to me. And his wife's first response after I told her was, "Do you have any proof?" In this day and age of technology, solid evidence is easy to gather. A photo sends 1,000 words. But also definitely chat with your other brother about this. Indeed, a lot of online detectives, they are consulting simple but effective methods. Comment 2. I don't think so. James was trying to convince Faye to break up with Brad. What I think happened is James wanted to sleep with Faye and thought that would only happen if they broke up, then he acted as her shoulder to cry on. Remember, Op said neither really took it well, in their opinion. Either way, not a good move on Faye's part, but can be lightly excused, not completely, since she seems to be in a vulnerable place. James, however, seems manipulative. Even if my theory above is wrong, he threatened to turn everyone on Op and have them gaslight them on his behalf. Jen put them on the spot by calling Faye and belittling, IDK the right word here, Op by saying they were just being dramatic. Op, get James out of your life ASAP and talk to Brad and James' wife.
Story 3. My brother, male 35, is dating one of my best friends, female 34, and I just found out she's been cheating for over a year. So some background, around 6 years ago, one of my oldest friends from elementary school started dating my older brother. Knowing her past relationships and her manipulation, I was hesitant when they first started dating, but she was in therapy and seemingly doing a lot of work on herself. My brother seems so happy with her, which isn't his norm. He doesn't date much and keeps to himself. He can get into super depressive episodes that last for ages, So when I saw a picture of him smiling out at a party with her, I literally cried because he looked so joyful. So I decided that it was possible that they were really good for each other, and seemingly they were. For a while, they seemed happy, but around 5 years in, she started to feel like he was motivated enough in his career and wanted a particular lifestyle. They are into very different things, and she wanted a partner that shared her same interests and basic philosophies on life. It's been complicated when she comes to me for love advice. Still, at the time, I told her that to be fair to her and my brother, she should break up with him. She said she was worried that he would hurt himself if he did because of his depression in the past. She battled with this for about a year. Then they broke up in October 2022, got back together a few days later, and then she broke up with him again in January. I was kind of over her the back and forth this time, and bringing me into it felt very uncomfortable. I told her I no longer wanted to discuss their relationship and that she was unfair to my brother. I comforted my brother through the breakup. Eventually, they did get back together and moved in together to a home owned by her family. My brother works construction, and he knows how to fix things, so he's fixing the house, but the family is still charging discounted rent which he pays in full since she doesn't work. My brother says he's happy with this arrangement, and they're both adults, so I stayed out of it even though it felt a little like. Fast forward again to today. I got a message from a person I don't know on Facebook saying that he's been with her on and off for over a year, and that as recently as this week, she reached out to him saying she wanted to have kids with him and loved him. She has cheated in the past but has been so growth-minded that I gave her a lot of grace for who she was and thought she was making genuine efforts to improve. But this was like a puzzle piece I didn't know I was missing about why their most recent breakup and getting back together felt so weird. I told him that if he was comfortable calling me, please do so, as I wanted to move forward with all the information. We spoke for over 3 hours, and he showed me all the messages between them. Again, I don't know this man, but he seems like the type of person who, if anything, is too open and honest. This man didn't have receipts but an entire novel of her reaching out to him as recently as yesterday, begging him to take her back, saying that her relationship is loveless and that he is the only man for her. He gave me a play-by-play of their entire time together, and the dates matched perfectly with life events, including my wedding, so I could confirm much of it without having to do much. He initially reached out to my brother to tell him, but he blocked him before talking and ran into my mom. They live in a tiny town. They also interacted, but my mom told him to F off. After she contacted him again yesterday, he sent me a message. I don't know how to move forward or figure out what's true or my role. I talked to my mom about it first because if something does blow up, I need to ensure my brother has someone there for him since I live far away. She advised me to stay out of it and not tell my brother anything. That doesn't feel right. I'd want to know if I were him. I want to trust my intuition but worry about the impulsivity of responding immediately. My mom says that since my brother has already decided that he doesn't want to talk with this guy, he made a choice to remain ignorant, and it's not my job to do anything, and that it's weird of this guy to keep reaching out and that he's the real villain of this story. I feel the right thing is to tell him and let him choose and not choose for him by withholding information. Still, I figured before doing that and potentially blowing up my brother's entire life, I should get other opinions or maybe hear from people who have had similar bombshells dropped on them. The only person I actively want to support in this story is my brother. Should I tell my brother everything? I talk to her and give her a chance to tell her side? Or do I do what my mom said and stay out? Too long, didn't read. My brother's girlfriend, who I'm old friends with, has been cheating on him for over a year. Update. I went full true detective this afternoon and have uncovered a lot more information and was able to come to my mom with hard, indisputable evidence. My mom has known my friend for decades and looks at her as another daughter. I said this in a comment but will add it here as well for context. This is a friend who was in the hospital with us as my grandmother died and was holding her hand in the room. Our families are close that we had a shared high school graduation party together. She was in my wedding party and at my baccalaureate. She was talking to this guy at both of those events, Apparently, my brother had reached out to my mom when he got a message from this guy for advice, and his girlfriend twisted the story saying that he was a creep and stalking her. So when she had an interaction with him, my mom felt like she needed to protect both my brother and his girlfriend. These lies from her also impacted my mom's initial reaction to me saying he reached out to me. It gets so twisted. She's lied on so many different levels to different people. She's created a web of carefully orchestrated lies that are going to take a lot of time and attention to unravel. My brother has been previously suicidal, so to make sure he has a support network when this ball drops him going home for a week, my cousin also will just happen to be in town, so he'll be surrounded by a lot of love and support. We've decided I'm just going to talk to him one-on-one, but next weekend when I get home to do it in person and take time to really present everything in a very matter-of-fact way. My mom is not the villain in this story. She's just been super manipulated by this monster of a person. I can't even begin to write out all of the stories, but she is actually even more evil than I thought she was this morning. Thank you everyone for the advice. A quick reaction would have probably led to more harm because my brother can get so deeply sad, so taking the time to tell him and be there for him is an absolute must. But we're coming up with a plan to make sure he is protected and has all the information he could possibly have. Sorry for typos typing this on my phone.
Comment 1. No, you tell him. He can do what he wants with the info. Don't make it rift between you two. If he's kind of like fuck off, then don't bring it up again.
Reply. I think this is right. It's just a horrible position to be in, and like, how do you tell someone something that will shatter their world? It's heartbreaking, and he's just so sweet and doesn't deserve it.
Next comment. Let's flip the script. Would you rather, after 3 years of dating, find out the man you love is cheating on you from your brother, who stepped up to the plate to let you know? After an undetermined number of years, find out your now husband has cheated on you. He has kids that aren't yours that you were tricked into raising, and your brother knew for years but didn't say anything to you. Comment 2. If she's willing to cheat, she's willing to lie to cover it up. Odds are she blocked the guy on your brother's account in case he reached out, or excused what happened and made him out to be some crazy vindictive ex, which prompted the blocking. Tell him what happened. At worst, he doesn't know. At best, he's aware and working on his marriage. Whatever the case, follow his lead and offer support. Comment 3. Tell your brother, and your mother is almost as bad as the at this point. Probably got her eye on grandbabies and doesn't want to have to start over and wait longer.
Reply. It's definitely not that she absolutely doesn't want grandkids. We are a very non-traditional family. I think she also feels protective of my old friend because she's such a huge part of our family. Like, she was there as my grandmother was dying. She and I shared a graduation party. Our friendship prior to her dating my brother was already sisterly. She's not perfect, but she loves this girl and I think has also been manipulated by her for years. It's really sad for her, but obviously sadder for my brother, and I think now after really talking to her she's on my side. This old friend is actually deeply evil, and the more I find out about how she's long-term twisted the narrative around this situation to protect herself when it comes out is actually a little terrifying. What do you think about this case? Let me know your opinion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Cheating Stories 911. We will send you daily story updates.